Welcome back, everyone, to the 50 something Dasher channel. And, folks, there it is right there. Check it out. $1.50 order. And by the way, what is, I know, of course, DoorDash is minimum $2 base rate on any. What is Uber's minimum? To be honest, I guess I should know this, but I don't even know what Uber's is. So you guys tell me, or if I feel like it, maybe I'll research it later. I don't know, but so I was actually, I had to kind of go back. This is from, at the time of this recording, this is yesterday, uh, April 6th, we're talking about here, where I had I completed the 3 quests, so which I talked about in the previous video. Okay, so this offer was received in the middle of all that. I was, before I even dropped off the Five Guys order, I'd gotten a Taco Bell offer that I accepted. So I dropped the Five Guys, I'm off to Taco Bell, I'm on my way there, and I get this add-on for another order for $1.50, adding 0 miles. But it says that it is expected to add 11 extra minutes for me to pick up that $1.50. And actually, I should have it right here. Yeah, here it is. There it is. There's the dollar right there. You know, so I have it, even though I didn't accept this offer. uh, so and I tried to. I'm not like I've been out to the east side in this area a lot of times for deliveries, but I have to have GPS. I don't know that end of town nearly as well as I know my zone. So in this, I'm not sure why they showed me they couldn't show the pickup and drop off in this screenshot. I'm not really sure what happened here, but I couldn't really tell where the customer was in relation to everything else. But anyway, this was a decline. Um, I've a couple things here. I've said this before and several times before on my channel, and I'll go ahead and repeat it, and I'll say it again. Okay, if I was to track down a kid in this neighborhood, like 7 to 10 years old, and ask a neighborhood child to do any kind of task for me. I don't care what it is, whether it's if I had some little kid help me with groceries, from the car to my door, or I live in an apartment, so I wouldn't have them, pick up leaves. That's apartment complexes. Well, let's just say I lived in a house and I paid some kid to pick up leaves, or I don't know, pick up trash or whatever the task. Okay, you bare minimum to pay a child to kind of like do some little chore for you. Even your own kids, it's some parents that pay their children, or it's kind of like the form of allowance. But you got to work for it and do your chores to get your allowance, that type of thing. I think bare minimum you're gonna pay children like I don't know, $5 to $10 or something like that in today's day and age. You're not gonna anymore pay somebody like $1 or 50 cents or a quarter. That this isn't the 1960s or 70s here. There's something called inflation. So you wouldn't do that for a child, yet these companies, these gig companies are paying adults that kind of money. Grown up adult people that are you know, using their own vehicles and the expense with gas and everything, and you're gonna pay them only $1 or $2 to complete a task for you when there's like expenses involved. It's just unbelievable, guys. I don't get it. And the second thing I'll say here, and I've said this as well, and just kind of like a repeat here, and you may have heard this from this channel first before you've heard it anywhere else. Guys, it would not surprise me in the slightest bit. I'm fully expecting for this to happen, and I'm waiting on it. Like I said, you might have heard it here first. The day is going to come when these gig companies we're gonna pay the gig companies to pick up orders. It's gonna be negative base rates. And you're like, what is he talking about? How that's not going to happen. Well, yes, it is going to happen. Because here's what's going to happen. Like right now, let's take DoorDash for instance. If a customer tips like $20 on an order, well, I've seen it, but we've all seen it. DoorDash automatically lowers the base pay. They just pay the bare minimum base pay, like $2. I've even had like catering orders. We're talking orders that I'm delivering that's over $100 in the large order program, where I've got like, 30, 40, $50 tip, something like that. DoorDash base pay, they lower their portion all the way down to $2. Well, it's not going to surprise me in the slightest bit when they start making it a negative amount. So basically what's going to, and I don't, a lot of gig tubers, they use the terminology stealing tips, that these gig companies do. I wouldn't use that terminology stealing. It's going to be, because it's going to be shown to us what they're doing. They'll show it in the breakdown. So they're going to be charging us to make the delivery. So if the customer tips a certain amount, let's say like a $20 tip, I wouldn't be surprised if DoorDash or any of these companies then does a negative $2 base pay. So basically, you out of that $20 tip, you have to pay the gig company $2 out of that tip money in order to deliver the order. It sounds insane. It might sound, absolutely ridiculous, crazy, insane. A lot of you are probably like, well, I don't see how, legally that can happen. But hey, I'm here to tell you, I'm just saying that it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest bit, before my time with driving with DoorDash, I've heard the base pays used to be like $6, $7, whatever it was, and they've gotten lower and lower and lower and lower. Now it's $2. Now, and on stacked orders, it can be even, less than that. You could have a stack. Well, I just did a triple a while back, okay? So that the base pay on that could have been $2 and split amongst the 3 deliveries. You could get a stack with 4 pickups and 4 drop-offs on it with a grand total $2 base pay. So that's $50, or I'm $50 50 cents base pay for each of those 4 pickups and deliveries. 50 cents. And that's possible under the current structure. And like I said, one of these days, hey, you never know. We could start seeing negative base pays. So we'll see. Hopefully it never comes to that, but we'll see. Anyway, that's all I got for now. And so much for the $1.50 offer from Uber that I did not take. Thanks, guys, for watching. As always, be sure to drive safe out there. We'll see you at the next video. Thanks again.